You know the rule. If your teacher ever tries to take away your phone during class, don't let them. Seriously, find a way to lock that screen first. I learned this lesson the hardest, most humiliating way possible. A way that involved a furious teacher, a locked phone, and a group chat full of jokes she absolutely did not get. I had this particular class where the teacher we'll call Mrs. Davison. She wasn't just strict, she was militant about cell phones. Her hatred for personal devices in the classroom was legendary. If she even thought she saw a sliver of glass slipping out of a pocket, that phone was gone, sealed in a drawer until the final bell. She made sure everyone knew that using one was the quickest way to earn her eternal displeasure. Because of this, I never dared to go on it during her class. I was genuinely terrified of her disciplinary power, except for this one day. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and we were supposed to be analyzing some tedious historical text, but my focus was entirely shattered by the persistent vibration in my pocket. The group chat I had with my friends, a chaotic digital space known for high energy and low intellectual standards, was completely blowing up. Everyone was engaged in a ferocious, escalating argument, and worse, I was getting roasted in it. Badly. The insults were flying fast and furious, and my social standing and digital reputation were on the line. Obviously, I had to defend myself. I had to craft the perfect counter-roast. I had to maintain my social dominance. I decided to risk it, sliding my phone out just enough to text under the desk. I typed furiously. I thought I was being slick, a master of classroom espionage. I was hunched over, typing a devastating retort, truly believing my body formed an impenetrable shield against her keen line of sight. I finalized the perfect joke, hit send, and was just raising my head with a smirk of digital triumph when the cold, ominous shadow fell over my desk. Mrs. Davison had seen everything. She didn't yell. She didn't even tap her foot. She simply extended her hand and said, in a voice colder than the school air conditioning, "Hand it over now." My heart plummeted straight into my shoes. I hesitated for a half second too long, desperately hoping to hit the lock button, but it was useless. She snatched the phone right out of my hand, and it was still unlocked. That wouldn't have been the end of the world if she had just locked it and tossed it in the drawer. But as I said, she hated phone usage, and she clearly needed a public spectacle to solidify her dominance. She held the phone up, its brightly lit screen displaying the evidence of my crime, the full, unadulterated chaos of my group chat. She stared at the screen, then at me. "Mr. Marat," she pronounced slowly, using my full, formal name. "What is so important that you needed to abandon your education for this device?" Let's find out. My stomach performed 3 full flips. I knew exactly what she was about to do. She started scrolling up to the core of the argument and began reading the messages, aloud, to the entire class. It quickly got to my victorious, freshly sent punchline. The messages were filled with slang and obscure internet references. Let's just say they included some utterly ridiculous context-dependent Diddy jokes that made perfect sense to a teen, but zero sense to an educator. Mrs. Davison read the phrases, her voice entirely flat and devoid of comprehension. The words sounded incredibly awkward coming from her, and the class was struggling not to burst out laughing. "Because you can't be trusted with the cheese, Diddy." What does that even mean, Mr. Marat? Is this about food? And who is Diddy? She asked, genuinely perplexed. She scrolled further. "Your opinion is worthless. Go buy some combs, you pauper." Is this a reference to personal hygiene? The sheer lack of context rendered our cruel, petty, and frankly hilarious insults completely inert and baffling. She clearly didn't understand the slang or the culture. All she saw was pure, nonsensical chaos. My punishment wasn't public shaming. It was public misunderstanding. She finally tossed the phone into the drawer with a loud thud, looking utterly defeated not by my defiance, but by the inexplicable absurdity of my generation's digital conversation.